Leo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for June 20th to June 26th. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to do a Celtic cross this week to receive your messages. Okay, what's going on for Leo in the present? Knight of Cups in reverse. A couple of signs have received this today. That's very interesting. So something is going on that's keeping you from sort of expressing how you feel. You might be feeling like you want to say something, but you're holding back because of your feelings. Let's see what's blocking you. What's blocking you? Interesting. The Ace of Wands. So you might be sensing that something is going to shift, that you might be sensing that there's a new beginning with something. So you're holding back your feelings. It almost makes me think that you're holding back because you're like, well, am I jumping the gun? Maybe this whole thing is going to shift on its own. Maybe I shouldn't bother saying how I feel because everything is going to shift anyway. Let's see here. What is top of mind for Leo? Oh, we got two cards here. The Seven of Wands in reverse and the Death card in reverse. So yeah, by holding in your feelings, you're sort of resisting this transformation energy or delaying a transformation. And it's interesting. Seven of Wands in reverse sort of makes me wonder whether or not you sort of are defending yourself or you feel misunderstood. You're sort of... You need boundaries around something, and maybe that's why you're holding your feelings in, because you're like, I need a new beginning, but I'm feeling like I can't actually defend myself. I can't speak my truth. Why? What's going on? Why can't you say how you feel about something? You're defending yourself. You feel misunderstood. You may need stronger boundaries here, and to acknowledge that you deserve to feel that idea of success. I feel like you're sensing competition, and so you can't really say how you're feeling. Something is stopping you from achieving your dreams. Even though there's this beautiful new beginning here, it's almost like you feel like you can't take this opportunity to transform for some reason. Let's see what's at the root of this. What's at the root of this for Leo? Another two set of cards. At the root of this is the idea of an ending that is painful, and also the idea that you don't want to suffer any more losses. You don't want suffering. You're trying to avoid suffering. You don't want to feel the pain of an ending with something. So it's almost like you're like, I'll just keep my thoughts and feelings to myself because I don't want to lose this connection, or I don't want this connection to come to a sudden end. I don't want to get hurt by this sudden end in the Ten of Swords. But at the same time, by doing so, there is this sort of new beginning that is going to get delayed then, because you're being overly protective of yourself, but without establishing boundaries. You're just sort of like holding it all in. Right? You're holding it all in, and it's not serving you towards this new beginning. It's almost a trauma response when I see what's at the base of the matter here. This is a traumatic response to expressing emotion. It's almost like in the past when you've expressed emotion, you've gotten like attacked. So now you're just defending yourself by not saying how you really feel about something. Let's see what is in the past here. In the past, is the High Priestess in reverse. So not really listening to that inner voice. Not really listening to the inner self, the inner child, the inner voice, the higher self, your spiritual connection. You've known something, but you haven't initiated it because it feels like a fearful, traumatic response to suffering. Like, I don't want to suffer anymore, so I'll do whatever it takes, and that's not serving you either. What's coming up in the future here for Libra? Isn't that interesting? 2 5s coming up. We see the Hierophant number 5 and the 5 of Wands in reverse. So there is conflict of ego around you. And there's also this idea of traditional spirituality in the future. I think you're going to have a conflict with that. You know, there could be a conflict coming up where your inner voice and your true feelings are in conflict with tradition, in conflict with convention, you know, even in conflict with the idea of your idea of spirituality might have a challenge come up in the future. Something might happen that throws that into challenge, where you're not sure now about something that you believed before. You might not believe it now. I can't help but feel like this is a big transformative moment for you, Leo. What is the inner dialogue for Leo as this is unfolding? Oops. Let's shuffle. Cards are feeling kind of slippery. What is the inner dialogue focused on? King of Pentacles. So you could be focused on a Virgo, or you could be focused on the energy of this. Oh, sorry, a Taurus, not Virgo. Yeah, you got two Taurus cards. You got the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. There could be a Taurus around you. Five of Pentacles is also Taurus. So there's a heavy Taurus feeling in this reading. This is interesting, but your inner dialogue right now is one where you kind of feel confident in what you've decided. You know, you might not realize that by holding your feelings in, something is sort of not able to transform. I kind of feel like right now you feel very confident. You feel like you have a lot of personal security and personal growth within, like that you're prosperous and successful, that you're able to manifest what you need. You feel confident and warm, and that you have the ability to overcome things. But I can't help but feel like you're not actually speaking your true feelings. You know, when I see that Knight of Cups, it feels like there's a new beginning here, but you're just you're afraid to speak up about how you really feel, even though you're sitting in a place that's very stable, very prosperous, abundant, flowing with confidence and resources. Ooh, that fell on the floor. Yeah, more self-care is required. Nine of Wands, the people around you might not be buying what you're selling. They're sort of thinking to themselves, Leo needs to nurture themselves more. And you're like, but I'm good, I'm fine. And they're sort of like, are you? I don't think you're telling me the truth. I think you're holding your feelings in. You know, and by doing so, you could be denying that inner voice that's trying to get you to transform and expand. You're almost at the end of a cycle, and you're at the part where you're most tired, but you're also at the part where you need to push and keep going. But it's interesting. I feel like you're saying one thing and feeling something else. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you're trying to convince everyone that you're feeling really confident about something, but you're actually holding back your true feelings. I think you're holding back your true feelings. What are your hopes and fears around this situation right now? Trusting it, being patient, accepting it. You got Temperance and hopes and fears. So that's the idea of sort of being in the present moment and trusting that everything will be as it should be, but not rushing it, not trying to force things into place. It's almost letting go and letting God when I see Temperance. And so there's a part of you that is on board with that idea, and there's also a part of you that's sort of like, but then it's out of my control. And I almost have to sort of express myself openly then and just be honest about how I feel and trust that everything is going to fall into place as it will, as it should be, as it needs to be. It's interesting. I feel like there's still a lot of conflict around you with that Five of Wands though. There's people opposing this, or some tradition is being opposed by someone trying to control this. Conflict of egos. What's the final outcome here for Leo? Well, the final outcome is the Nine of Cups. So that's great. You're focused on getting your wishes fulfilled. Nine of Cups is a beautiful energy, and on the bottom of the deck we see the Sun. So I feel like everything is gonna be okay, but maybe you just need to focus on whatever your true emotional fulfillment is, and express it. What's the harm in expressing it, right? And trusting that inner voice is guiding you towards achieving that. Like the universe is always conspiring to bring us to our highest timeline, to teach us things, even if it's not what we had planned, even if we don't see that it's our highest timeline. It's interesting. There's so many things that we don't know, but we're being guided to trust. It's so interesting. Let's see what final message of guidance we have for Leo as they go through this sort of moment of transformation where they speak their truth. They're looking after their own inner fulfillment. Emotion, yeah, you need to let that emotion out. There's the image on the front of the card. The card of emotion says, practice radical honesty. Absolutely. Connect with your intuition. Absolutely. Release control and judgment. Your actions impact the world. I think your actions impact others. They impact the world as well, but I feel like this is really close to home here. Respond rather than react and allow the emotion. We got that Knight of Cups in reverse. You're not allowing your emotion. High Priestess in reverse. You're not connecting to your intuition. You are being guided to do both of those things. Sorry, it's so shiny. This card is very reflective against the light of my... There we go. It's backwards anyway. You can't read it necessarily, but... very interesting messages for you this week, Leo. Really practicing to be honest about how you feel. I think that's going to transform things dramatically for you. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. If it's resonated for you, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. It's so nice to connect with you through these readings. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week. Take care, everyone.